Hey folks, it's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS mental health moment. Man, I have so much fun doing this, but there are so many things that I get to share that are very personal to me. And I'm very happy that with the suggestion of my guy Arvis Young, Coach Arvis Young, who is here with us. You don't see his face, but he's here with us on the call, as well as Martell Summers, a young man I was very honored to be able to coach and call a mentee. But also someone I'm just proud that he's growing into being a great young man. Happy to have both you guys on. How you guys doing right now?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Great. Great. Coach, I don't know if you out in Miami or, Dubai. I don't know where you are, but I see Martell is out somewhere enjoying the sun and all that stuff. But, Coach, you had an excellent idea kind of getting as many of the guys back together to talk about, the history of DPS and technically which is even there anymore because we're kind of transitioned to a new district. But just give me your thoughts and feedback on what your experience has been coaching with Detroit Public Schools, particularly at Henry Ford, and just the idea of us getting together and talking today.
First of all, Lindsey, I really appreciate this, this platform. I've had the pleasure, the honor to be able to coach some great young men. When I started this, journey a long time ago, I didn't get into it for a lot of notoriety, any kind of hype. I just really wanted to get into it. I really wanted to give back to the community, which I came from, and I was able to do that. And I am still currently doing that through the game of basketball. I believe, basketball is a way to help young men reach their potential, their goals, and their dreams. And my job was to try to help manage them through that situation. And as Martell Summers, he's a great example of the hard work that we put in. A lot of people think we just roll the balls out and y'all go play, but it's a lot more to it than that.
Well, good, man. Good. Sitting here with you, you've been able to kind of watch DPS in its glory days, if you will. When you talk about, this was the public school league that produced so many high caliber players on every level. What has it been like watching that up and close and then kind of seeing things change and transition to where the DPS, as we know, isn't really anymore because of the changes in the city and whatnot? What has it been like watching that transition?
With anything, Lindsey, it comes with, change. When I played, back in the early to mid 80s, and even before that, I couldn't imagine playing in any other league. I couldn't imagine any other league, and I'm not, saying what other cities, Chicago, New York. I'm not saying that they didn't have really good basketball, but it's hard for me to imagine anybody else, any other city, any other league being better than the Detroit Public School League, both past, present, and I want to say the future, because I just believe that basketball is coming back. It's, everybody have their era, and at this point, we're coming back, once DPS, always DPS, and I think it's coming back. But at the end of the day, we produce some of the best basketball players that I've ever seen. And more importantly, they become great young men, and, those are the things that make me proud, being a product of DPS.
Great. I got one more thing for you before I shift and go to Mr. Summers. It's ironic that we're kind of representing three eras of basketball. You talk about, the mid-'80s, the '80s. I'm representing the '90s, coming out in 1993, having played there, and Martell being the millennial, representing 2000. But just give me some feedback on what it's like when you get to see a young man like Martell come through the program, work really hard, be just a good kid overall, and then be able to transition on to college and continue to play and be at a point now where he's starting his professional career, still involved in higher education with the work he's doing at Michigan State. What is it like when you see players like him who kind of get it right and take full advantage of everything?
Well, like when I, first met Martell, it was probably my first couple weeks, getting over to him before. And it doesn't surprise me now because when I came there, he was in the gym, him and his buddy Broderick, and and it's been over 20 years, and him and Broderick are still good friends. And his work ethic, he was very passionate, coachable, I just believe coachable young men at some point will be able to be employable young men. So he was very coachable at that point, and it doesn't surprise me that he's doing really well now in his career, and I'm sure he will continue to do that. He had the work ethic. He had the passion. He was coachable. Came from a great family. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me about him.
Wow, that's great, brother. You hear your coach here saying all these great things about you, man. How does it feel to be at this point in your life where you're having success in your career post-college and hear your coach say these things about you and how he felt about you from the first day he met you?
Well, for me, both of you gentlemen, I'm very appreciative of both of you. As you know, growing up, West Side, city of Detroit, right in the heart, right off 7 Mile. It takes a village, right? So you need a lot of mentorship, and you need a lot of people to wrap their arms around you, right, and tell you when you're not doing the right things and when you are doing those right things. And you need people that you see yourself in, right? That's a reflection of you, so that you know that you can continue to go on that path, right? And with you coming back, right, from serving in the military, right, and some of those things, Coach Huddleston, I'm speaking on, that you instilled in me my freshman year, even as it relates to the grades. And I don't know if you remember, right, I was kind of struggling that first year as it relates to academically. And you said you gave me an opportunity, and from there I never looked back on that aspect of it. But even going on to Coach bringing me up my sophomore year, right, to varsity, right, and then also being a key component into that team, right, it was just instilling confidence, right, in you that you haven't felt, right, in other areas, right? So starting, building, and showing that people believe in you, right, beyond yourself, right? And you need that confidence to continue on that in every field, right? Whether that's family, whether that's education, right? So it was just a blessing for me to be a part of it, and a lot of the decisions that I currently make. I'm not aware if you're aware how me and Coach Young is still locked into this day. My whole career decisions, most of the decisions I've made, I reached back out to Coach as it relates to institutions I was going to for higher education, institutions I was going to for employment, right? Coaching aspect, Coach Young still took me under his wing. I was rolling with Coach Young over in Coach Ward over in Southeastern. Then Coach Young brought me with him over into Harper Woods, right? I was head coach for JV as well as there, and worked as well as continuing working under his mentorship as a varsity as well. So I have been nothing but grateful and thankful for both of you all.
Well, we're happy about that. Well, just like clockwork, man, your partner in crime is chiming in. We got Broderick Knight get ready to chime in right on time. But as Broderick gets ready, hey, Coach Young, I want to go back to you as we get ready to talk about these two great young men and highlight them. Tell me, what was it like making a decision? B-Knight with the baby in the building. Hey.
What's up, Coach?
B, we're going to bring you in 1 second. We're going to bring a little one in too. But Coach Young, what was it like making a decision? What did you see in what did you see in, well, I'll say Broderick as well, but what did you see in Martell that made you want to bring him up? And what are the characteristics that young people should have so they can get that tap on the shoulder to move up from JV to varsity and be able to contribute on a higher level?
Just being able to do what you do, do well. We, you know how we are. We want to do things that sometimes we are not really good at. My whole thing was let's try to put them in a situation where they can be successful. If it's guarding the ball, or if it's taking somebody off the dribble and or getting somebody involved, let's do that. Because most of us, we get in trouble when we get outside of our, what we do well. And both of these young men, Broderick on the defensive end and Martell, just fit right into what we were trying to do moving forward at him before. And as a result of that, we were trying to, just be able to bring some respectability back to that program. And these two young men, along with some other young men, really helped me get that going in the right direction.
So to stay on that note for a second before we go to Broderick and Baby, you mean you didn't need somebody to come in and shoot a lot of points? You didn't need somebody to come in and score a lot? You didn't need somebody just to be the man? You needed somebody to do some other things?
Absolutely. But, the other young man that is not here, he can put it up. His name is Deion Sherrill. So we had a few guys that can put it up. Martell, they can put it up. They can really put it up. But like I said before, they bought into what we were trying to do. and we went to a regional final, and just kept trying to just move forward with that program. But like I said, whatever you wanted them to do, and pretty much all the young men, they were ready to do it at a high level.
That's great. Well, with that, no further ado, we got Broderick B. Knight in the building. Got to join us, but he was taking care of them fathers. Well, tell us who the baby is. Introduce the baby to the world.
What's going on, family? This is little Raya. She's asleep right now.
Yeah. Wait till she looks back on this video when she gets older and say, Daddy, you have me on there? Well,
right?
We were just talking with Coach Young and Martell, man, and it is so great seeing both of you guys because you're right, man. You guys were just joined at the hip. It was so great having you guys, and you just really made it so much easier to both coach and just kind of be, in a position of leadership because I had guys like you who were well-respected and would take care of things. But just talk about your experience, Broderick, from being at Henry Ford, transitioning on, and just to be a man right now who's proud to take care of his family and do things like that. What has that whole experience been like for you?
Man, when I look back, I just say amazing, man. I think I hit you guys up often saying thank you for everything that y'all instilled in me, You, Coach Young, it was like it's hard to even explain, man, coming from your teaching and then going straight to Coach Young teaching. It was a combination of just growth, man, something that was well needed, and y'all both was the same attitude, like, hey, let's get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Dig deep. That's what we taught. That's what we were taught. And I'm truly grateful for it, man, because it plays out in everyday life, man. And then it was no better person than I would have did it with that guy over there. My right hand right there, man. It wasn't too much that I didn't see being accomplished as long as he was with me.
Wow, I mean, you guys represent a genuine friendship. And I want to ask you this too, Broderick. When you look at other young people and you hear the stories about young people in sports right now, what do you think is missing that a lot of those young people don't have that you and Martell had with myself and Coach Young? Or just, what do you think of things that a lot of young people should focus on now to help them have some success you guys have had?
I think it really goes back to just a bond, man. It starts there, like, not what we have, like, no matter our achievements, you know what I'm saying? Like, we take it back to day one when we ain't had nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny, a lot of people don't even know that come middle school, we was enemies that had never met, I played for Taft, he played for Ludington. We had a mutual friend, and he would come home talking about this Martell cat all day long. So it was a battle that was already built that we had never even met. I didn't even know what he looked like, So come Henry Ford, I'm lining up, we had our nicknames. We didn't even know each other's real names. We just clicked. And come to find out later on that this was the guy that I had was supposed to, you know what I'm saying? I was supposed to face up with this guy in middle school, you know what I'm saying? Now he my right hand,
And then you guys continue that relationship beyond high school. You guys stay close and, all the way through. Martell, what does it feel like when you hear your guy sitting get that backstory?
Man, it's a beautiful thing, right? Like it's just genuine, right? Like I talked to the young man probably 3 or 4 times, and we on 1:30 already this time of day, right? Last night I probably got with him probably around like 3:30 a.m. right? So it's like it's a bond that's unmatched, like, but it's on every level, right? It's accountability, right? It's not just going to tell you the things you need to hear, right? It's going to hold you to a certain standard, right? Going to on every level, not beyond basketball. If you say you're going to get up, then you need to be up, right? That young man has a family now. You best believe I'm gonna hold him accountable, right, for taking care of his family, right? And if there's any chance that I need to support and be there, then I'm gonna be there, right? And it's just in every aspect in life, right? The support is there, and it stems from, right, the foundation, the discipline, and the support, right, and the leadership, picking up the phone, right? Even junior college, coach, when we ran into you, Coach Hudson, picking up the phone when we're reaching out, right? Showing different aspects, right, beyond taking off that coach's hat, right, and saying, hey, these are just some genuine guys, right, that you can touch, you can put hands on, right, you can have genuine relationships, right, we can call you and ask you about family. It's a conversation beyond basketball, right, and that's the relationships that need to be developed on the court, right, beyond putting the ball in the hole.
That's amazing. Coach Young, I think back to one of my most recognizable memories of these two young men was the conditioning that we did for junior varsity. We ran the infamous stairs, right? There were some stairs inside, and we got to give a shout out to Coach Ramon Thompson. Shout out to Pop.
Oh,
You know,
man.
I'm sure we should have got him in on this one too. But Coach Young, I remember distinctly, man, having an expectation. I said these guys got to be in shape. And man, Martell and Broderick, you two, man. If y'all didn't stay, if one of y'all wasn't at the front of the line, the other one was. I mean, I just don't remember nobody else. If it wasn't Martell, it was Broderick. If it wasn't Broderick, it was Martell. And to be honest, you probably had one at the top and one at the bottom. So, Coach Young, when you talk about, you know, work ethic and working hard, you know, what can you say to our viewers about how important it is not to be able to just shoot the ball, not just to be able to be athletic, but to get out and be leaders, be the first one to come in, you know, and show those other type of things? How important is that?
Very important, because what it does is the best two players, you know, who cares? But I always say, you know, and I always live by this today, hard work is undefeated. And I just kind of just simply leave it like that. I don't try to, you know, add to it. Hard work is undefeated. So I don't care how you try to turn it. I don't care how you try to put it. Hard work is always going to be undefeated. And if you can get that, start that and instill that into the young men, young women, then they have a platform to be successful. It doesn't surprise me about these two young men. You know, it doesn't surprise me at all. You know, they've been the same people, you know, and it's rare that you know, have someone that can be best friends 20, 25 years after high school, as tight as these two young men. So
And they started out being enemies. How about that?
Yeah. And all that, you know, through basketball. You know, you know, basketball is I don't know no other sport that can, you know, necessarily bring people together like that and, you know, move you apart. But basketball can do that type of stuff, you know, and, you know, life, you know, and basketball, just trying to teach them through basketball about life. You know, everything don't go your way. Everything don't go your way in life. You know, sometimes you get knocked on your ass. You got to get back up. Same thing in life. You lose a couple games. So what? You didn't lose your life. Let's get back at it. So, you know, those are some of the things that we tried to instill. And the ones that bought into it, you know, it says it. So you don't have to go back and look and see who did what. I got two questions for you. You know, you want the pain of discipline or you want the pain of regret? Which one?
Very good. Very, Coach, I want to stay with you on that. And I can pose this question to the panel. And I think it's appropriate when we talk about The Last Dance, you know, in a 10-part documentary. I was on Fox 47's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, and he posed a question to me about the GOAT. And before I even say that, man, you guys remember how Coach would get so worked up, he would sweat through his whole suit and everything like that, man. I was like, boy, Coach, we was worried about you, man. We was like, is he going to have a heart attack? But I know you was passionate, and I know how you feel. But here's the question. That's his move right there.
Yeah,
here's the question I posed to you guys. He had to loosen up the tie. Go, oh, man. But here's the question I got.
Love it.
If they did a 10-part documentary similar to the one done for Michael Jordan and the Bulls, if they did one on LeBron James to the great detail that they did on Michael Jordan, would there still be a question about who the GOAT may be? If they had the same type of in-depth documentary on LeBron James that they did on Michael Jordan. I'll start with you, Coach.
You know what? That's kind of, you can go either way on that, but here's where I'm at with that. You know, I always say, you know, LeBron is still building his legacy. He's still building. What I mean by that is he's still playing. He's still playing. So he has a chance to add to his legacy. No doubt he's going to be, in my mind, one of the top 2 or 3, 4 or 5, whatever. But you're still looking at eras. You know, don't nobody pretty much know in this particular era about Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Bill Russell.
I think it breaks down. Yeah, I think it breaks down into eras. You know, I was talking to someone the other day about a young man that's up at Ypsilanti Lincoln.
Imani Bates.
And, you know, my thing is everybody have their time. Everybody. It's their time. Now it's his time now. You know, let's support him. And I saw him work out. He's working. He's working. You know, it's to be continued on him, but he has an opportunity. I would just say he has an opportunity to be one of the best. You know, at this point, you know, he's still playing. It's his time now. I think we should be more supportive of people like that, young men like that, that's trying to make it, because he's a worker and he's a player. Getting back to your question, I just think that you have to deal with errors, Coach. LeBron is in his era right now. Mike had his, but for me, I think I'm gonna stick with MJ.
You know what? And before I go to the fellas, I totally agree with you, and I'm so glad you brought those other statements in about errors. And you also made a point that I can bring up. If LeBron is being compared to MJ as the GOAT and LeBron's still playing, what does that say about LeBron? That he's still playing and they still talking about it. And then the other part I'll throw in there too, what happened to Kobe? Like, we always jump from MJ to LeBron, but Kobe. But, Coach, you make some good points. Go ahead. I'll go with Martell, and I'll finish with Broderick. Martell, what do you think?
I'm glad you threw that name in there, Coach. Going to Kobe, that's a great lead. That's a great lead for me as that young man is smiling. He know we have to keep Kobe in that conversation. But as a basketball standpoint, it's very much what Coach said. It's different eras, right? Different eras come with different times, different rules, right? And it changes different aspects of the game. With that, you can begin to break it down, right? Scoring versus all-around player, right? Versus clutch, right? Versus making team makes better, right? There's many levels and many layers that you can speak on when you talk about the greatest player in relation to era. I do think, as it relates to media right now, I do think, and like you said, LeBron James still being in comparison with Michael Jordan going into his 16th season says a lot, right? So that's not debatable, and there's nothing you can argue about that. But as it relates to also the media, right, the expectations of Michael Jordan coming into the league as it relates to the expectations of LeBron James, as I heard in the conversation, was different, right? Michael Jordan was able to grow. LeBron James was already expected that off of his.
MJ grew without the media scrutiny early on.
Correct. You said MJ grew without the media scrutiny? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so some of those 20-point, 30-point games of MJ was great, right? When it was maybe they were already expecting that of LeBron. But again, I'm going to have to, if I had to pull the trigger, I'm going to have to go with MJ just as it relates. I'm going to have to go with MJ as it relates to under 10 seconds, right? 30 seconds, right? If it's a double team and there's somebody standing over in the corner, MJ not making that pass. MJ gonna live and die with making that shot or that clutch. LeBron is definitely gonna make the best basketball play, and you can't knock that man for making the correct pass to a shooter in the corner when he being double teamed with 10 seconds left. You can't say nothing about that. But with 10 seconds left, and it's a shooter in the corner, Michael Jordan gonna do a fadeaway.
So I love that. And before we go to Broderick, you kind of touched on something. Is it that as a society we like to see that one man standing alone in the arena, the one person who slayed the dragon? We want to see, blood coming from your mouth because you did it, compared to a combination of everybody coming in to help and win?
No, I wouldn't.
Go ahead.
I didn't cut him off.
Okay. Go ahead, Tell.
I lost it for a second. Well, Broderick, step on in until Martell comes back.
Yeah, I say, first of all, I'm definitely going with Michael Jordan still. You know what I'm saying? All the time, you know what I'm saying? But to piggyback off of Coach and what Tell was saying, I definitely agree. It's about errors, And LeBron is good. I don't knock LeBron, man, but close second, I say Kobe was the closest with that mentality that Jordan had, you know what I'm saying? But as Tell said, though, LeBron will make the best decision in that play, you know what I'm saying? So you can't knock him. But, man, I definitely just him as a whole, man, like he's definitely going to go down as one of the top, you know what I'm saying? To be in that conversation with Jordan alone is a plus, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying? It's not too many that get compared to Jordan, get compared with Jordan, so looking at that, I say that's an accomplishment in itself,
Let me ask both of you guys this with the hope that we can get Martell back before we wrap up. If this season resumes in some way or form and the Lakers continue what they were on and LeBron wins another championship, the Lakers win another championship, does that change the conversation? And does that make his championship, questionable because it was a shortened season? Coach, I'll start with you.
At the end of the day, we still gonna have debates. It'll go on forever.
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm gonna say is that when you go undefeated, 6-0 in the finals, the NBA finals, and you are the MVP in all of those finals. Am I correct? Was it MVP in all those?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to, for me, for a guy that played a little bit, that's hard. Leaving to go play baseball, Lindsey, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back, getting himself in the right type of shape, getting his mind right, getting his mental, together. Those are some of the things that you do have to add in there, Lindsey. Like I said, it's not, a situation where he played straight through. He left for a couple of years. You also have to add that into the, equation when you're talking about the best ever. You telling me he can leave for 2 years and come back and still be the best? See, that's what you're going to have to convince me on, if someone can do that.
And had they not broke up the team, what would one more season have been like? Would they have got 7?
And everybody's saying they wouldn't have came back, they this, that, and all I'm saying is that until someone can do that, at that level, then I'm gonna consider Michael Jordan the best to ever do it, based on that criteria, on those situations that happened. He left and came back. That's like one of us leaving our job for 2 years and coming back, whatever. He came back
being on top.
Yeah. So that's what's keeping him at the top for me.
Wow. All good stuff. Guys, while we have you for the remainder of the time, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this, but the reason why we're all probably on video conferencing as opposed to sitting around and talking with each other and high-fiving and showing love is because of the coronavirus. Fortunately, it seems we're moving in a positive trajectory as it relates to soon lifting the stay-at-home order and kind of getting back to some form of normalcy. But just while I have you guys, what positive message can you share to everyone out there as it relates to, continuing to stay focused and positive and being ready to deal with what the new normal is going to be like? Because as we said earlier, we don't even know what sports is going to look like. It's impacting the economy, and of course it's taking some loved ones from us. So, Coach, I'll start with you. I'll go to Martell, and I'll finish up with Broderick. How about that?
That's fine. For me, this has changed everybody. Who would have known or who would have thought that every time you go out the house now, you got to put a mask on your face? Washing your hands. I mean, we take stuff for granted, and as the older we get, we got to be fortunate. People, I'm not sure, but everybody around us, some of us have been affected, maybe not necessarily in your immediate family, but someone that's, that's fallen to this disease. So, I'm very fortunate to be able to be talking to you guys and glad that you guys are safe and, doing well. Your families are safe and healthy, and those are the things that I live by, just being able to be fortunate, be thankful, try to make somebody smile today, because like I said, a lot of people have just dropped off, from this. So I'm just glad to have the opportunity to be in front of you guys today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Martell, what you got for us in light of that?
That's where it started, right? It started here, and it's going to be with the mentorship. Like Coach said, it has affected me in every layer, right? Personally, with my family, friends, right? My occupation, but my foundation is family, friends, right? It starts from there. So I think also, while we think definitely big picture scheme about all the things that we can't control, right? Take advantage of these times that we are able to build and establish relationships with those foundations, right? Those hours where we have to spend outside of the household, right? To then provide for family and make a better way. Let's make sure that while we get through these times, we also take advantage of these times with family, having Zoom meetings, right? Establishing maybe some of the traditions, calling someone that you haven't spoke with one to establish back that relationship and or just hear you know, some nice words, right, from that individual on the other end. So I think we should take advantage of this time as well, given the situation that we're in, and establish some of these good foundations and families and friends, right, that build upon the foundation that we have.
Very good, very good. Broderick, last but not least.
Man, I agree though, Coach. In regards to this COVID, like it's affected everybody, man. I think to grab the positive of this thing, you know what I'm saying? Like it definitely helped me to focus on the things that I love, you know what I'm saying? Focus on family, focus on friends, you know what I'm saying? We might not be able to get in a good gathering, but man, think about what you got to be grateful for, you know what I'm saying? Because like Coach said, man, so many people have dropped off due to this thing, you know what I'm saying? We still opening our eyes, you know? So I'm grateful for that alone, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, just be positive, man, and understand that. I believe in the beginning of that thing, man, like it showed me that a lot of this stuff don't even matter, Coach. No matter how much money you got, no matter your status, all of that was shut down. Like you couldn't even spend the money that was in your bank account, you know?
Right.
So it was like, you know, this is life, you know what I'm saying? What we do have is the people that's in this house, you know what I'm saying? Your loved ones, you know? Get close, put that first, family first. That's always been our motto, you know what I'm saying? All of us, you know?
Wow.
So that's what I'm pulling from this thing, Coach. Is get close while we can, you know, while the clock is still ticking, you know.
Yep, as you hold your beautiful baby. Well, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it. Coach Arvis Young, Martell Summers, and Broderick Knight, Henry Ford's finest all the way around. Coach Young, I want to give you a special thank you for encouraging me to kind of get the band back together a little bit, to get these guys back together, because it takes me to see you guys to be reminded of all the great experiences that we had, and how we can still come together and enjoy each other, but also be able to put something out positive to the world. So I appreciate each one of you guys, and I'm very proud to have been in the space I've been with you guys, and that's goes to you as well, Coach. I appreciate you too. So with that, we'll wrap up this SPS mental health moment. We'll get this out here to the world. I got Coach Ken Flowers from Henry Ford coming on a little later. So today is a Trojan takeover, you know, so we represent well. But I appreciate you guys, and I want to wish you the best of luck, okay?
I really appreciate it. Yeah. All Trojan Nation.
That's it. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
All right,
love y'all guys, man. Be cool.
All right, take care.